Good evening, and welcome to this week's London by Gaslight. Quiet in the front row. A late Victorian age vampire the Masquerade chronicle set in Victorian London. But first of all, congratulations to Pixie.
Apparently none of us can speak tonight.
Great for me. Congratulations to Pixie for successfully getting your parcels out. Well done. Awakening for the night in the city is Eveline, the daughter of Cacophony, betrayed by Miss Hartz. Please do arouse Jack to wake from your torpor state. Gain a hunger. Thurston of the Nosferatu, betrayed by Nitro Typat. Please do arouse Jack to wake from your torpor slumber. Excellent. Last but never least, Inspector Grey from the Clan of the Hunt, betrayed by Noscavian of OnlyFans fame. Please do arouse Jack to wake from your torpor slumber. Excellent. This week it's only your fans that are thirsty.
You've been waiting to say that.
Yep. We begin this week in the sewers of London. Thurston has made his way down to meet with Clara. He hasn't checked in on her in quite some time, since her unfortunate encounter with young man, in fact. He proceeds into the small chambers inside of the sewers and finds her looking better, but not fully healed still. Her legs have returned, but her arms are still but bloody stumps, and only one of her eyes is fully healed up. She pulls herself up in the squalid, dirty sheets that she has, and gives Thurston a smile of broken teeth. Thurston, my saviour, my sweet prince, it's so kind and thoughtful of you to see me. How are you, dear?
Doing all right. We just simply living night by night like we are used to. I'm glad to see that you're better. Are you able to get everything you need down here while you finish healing your limbs?
I'm able to sustain myself. Thankfully there is an abundant supply of rats to feed upon, and I hope that my arms shall return, given time. But, talking of time, it has been some time since last we spoke. Please, tell me everything that you've done. I am somewhat out of touch, and I don't like how that feels.
Not only do I have to sit here and figure out what I do and don't want to tell her, but I have to remember what we've done. Well, I believe the coterie has finally come across what we've been searching for all this time, that the cameraless set us off to look for in the first place.
Marvellous. What have you discovered? Remember, Thurston, we are family. We have no secrets. What have you discovered about the Amaranth? And she is going to try and persuade you to be honest.
Okay.
You may resist if you so wish.
Yeah, I'll resist.
That's going to be composure and insight. You could go do a re-roll, but you would have to go crit fishing.
Why not?
Bollocks. I am also going to re-roll 2. It's going to go to Clara, as she was the, for all intents and purposes, aggressor. Tell me everything, sweet Thurston.
This is my what in the world have we discovered in the past couple weeks face. Well, we've discovered that it is, strangely enough, all leads point back to Lady Anne Bosley.
She has been committing the amaranth herself, you say?
From what we've discovered, it seems to be the case.
Should we of the hidden be worried?
Why do you say that?
Because, well, if she is targeting randomly, why would she not target us?
That is true, but I don't believe that anything we've discovered is pointed that way. Right now, we are trying to figure out a way of dealing with her as the problem without causing a stir.
Have you managed to work out what her goals and plans are? Why is she doing this?
I know she didn't use a power on her, but is her persuasion still swaying on me?
Not for that one.
Okay. Sorry, what was the question?
What are her goals? Why is she doing this?
That we're not entirely sure about. We have yet to confront her any.
Are you lying?
Still, no.
Okay.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
We have yet to confront her any, and as far as I can tell, no, that's not true. I am technically lying.
Okay. Manipulation, subterfuge. Against Clara's wits and insight. Oh, Christ. Oh, Clara, you're a lovely girl, but fucking hell.
Finally paying off when I put all those dots in at character creation.
Do be safe. I fear for you. No one else will look over you as I do. No one else looks over the Nosferatu except other Nosferatu.
That is true. But we do get our revenge for anything done wrong, like we did for you. So, while I am careful, I do have people out there that are not Nosferatu that I know will carry out what I began to in the first place.
You have my complete faith, dear heart. And you'll see her stump sort of trying to, her arm stump sort of trying to move, and then she's just like, oh, no hand.
Thank you. I will lean down to and give her a gentle caress on the cheek before I leave.
You're so kind. Please, pass on my word of thanks to Miss Eveline for the flowers.
Of course.
Ever so slightly later in the night, the rest of the coterie, including Thurston, have met up in their Whitechapel haven. They gather together in the house's meeting room, and as usual, each kindred take their respective seat, and as usual, Eveline makes a grand display of her entrance, ensuring that she enters last. Is there anything you would like to discuss?
Well, I suppose the issue of import we should discuss tonight is our decision on what to do, whether or not we should support Mithras or if we should confront Lady Anne Bosley.
I thought we were going to ask Aldrich first.
Yes. Aldrich's he's been toiling away in his lab and is too busy to be disturbed. However, we did pass a note to Aldrich and received a response. And I believe it is in our best interest to confront Lady Anne Bosley.
Well, if Aldrich believes that is the best course of action for us all, then I would not put it past him to think we are alright doing it on our own.
I certainly don't want to do it without him there, though.
Yes, of course, of course. I just wanted to have the discussion with everyone so that we could come to a consensus in case there was any other opinions.
Of course.
But barring anything else, is anyone hungry tonight?
Bit peckish.
Yes, perhaps the first order of business for the night would be to get some food.
I have summoned you here for a purpose.
Is that Endymion?
That is
Seems we have a priority mission.
Enemies are plotting against you.
This isn't news.
Yes, quite.
The ones
Which ones are you?
you call serpents.
The Ministry, those Setite.
Yes.
What is it that they are plotting?
City has been trapped, but I can give you a safe route to someone that can assist you to remove them.
piece of paper seems to form from dust and ash as it slowly pieces itself together on the table in front of the coterie.
I will pick it up and read it.
The map shows a route from the Whitechapel House to a house in Russell Square near the British Museum. The coterie, well, Eveline, can see from the map that she needs to walk through some of the more obscure alleyways in the East End, and even some they've never seen before, and meet with a carriage once they have left the Whitechapel area.
Oh, it's a map, and I hand it to Thurston.
Ah, yes. Quite adept with these.
City has been shaped and molded to accommodate your safe passage.
Quite handy.
Very well, I suppose we should be about it then.
I still want to stop by for a snack first.
Well, if we are in danger, perhaps we can try to find a snack on the way.
Yeah, I mean, your route will take you through the East End. Aldrich's Opium Den is in the West End. So once you've gotten through the East End and met up with the carriage in the West End, you'll be able to go feed. But you should, yeah. I mean, if you want to, you could just casually walk through the East End.
Yeah.
So, is the map showing us our final destination? Do we have to go do this thing before we eat? Or is it just a safe route out of the East End?
It's a safe route out of the East End to meet up with a carriage waiting for you on the edge of the West End. And you will all know as well that the West End is where Aldrich's Opium Den is, and so you'll be able to take a diversion, go to Burger Emperor on the way.
So I'll go ahead and use Endymion's map. Oh, very well. Let's head out then. Let's follow this map for safe passage.
Wait, we have to walk?
At least until we can rendezvous with the carriage, of course.
Yes, I'm eager to follow this map, but I don't quite recognize any of the landmarks here, and it has us going east to go to west. Oh, it's upside down, I see.
We're doomed.
So,
You exaggerate.
while we were going through the alleyways and following this path, I want to keep my eyes open for like.
Oh, I didn't know you were heading out yet.
Oh, sorry.
Very good.
Everyone's just waving to
Alrighty.
Inspector Grey as he goes off into the snow. Going for a walk.
Just gets
Or
up,
maybe
walks out the
some
door.
time.
I will wait outside for everyone to catch up.
Well, I guess we should go. He seems quite impatient.
Yes, it may have only taken a few minutes, but I believe I have my bearings around this map. We may proceed.
Inspector Grey trying to do the old fast travel trick of just spacebar, skip cinematic. Okay, and I'm there.
I will take Thurston's arm as we leave.
You two have arrived. Let us go post haste. And while we're traveling through the alleys, I want to keep an eye out for some food, homeless person, really, and just anyone by themselves. I want to try to see if I can help Evelyn.
Coterie cautiously leave the Whitechapel house, stepping out onto the cold winter streets of London. The cobbled, uneven stones set into place are still covered in ice, making traversing the streets at night even more dangerous than usual. Thurston consults the map gifted. Pardon, sorry?
I wish I would have brought my galoshes. My wellies.
Yeah, I would. Be common sense. Eveline would just pick them up and put them on. It'd be fine. Thurston consults a map gifted to them by Endymion and leads the coterie off to an alleyway that they've never seen to exist before. It takes them round the side of a house and heads away from the rest of Whitechapel. The coterie travel through various winding alleyways, some new to them, some familiar, until they enter into the last winding labyrinth. Labyrinth-like hidden... I've got to sort out my fucking grammar on this, I'm so sorry. To the last winding labyrinth-like hidden alleyway before they can meet up with the carriage. The snow-covered ground is untouched and seems to have a few buildings' back doors that open up into the extra-wide alleyway. Steam hisses off from pipes that run along dirt-covered walls and spill out of small cracks in blacked-out windows. As the coterie stride through, they notice a mother cradling a child, bundled in stained, dirty blankets. She rocks back and forth, sobbing. Her face bears tear marks, but seems no longer as able to produce more tears, despite her obvious grief. The coterie can easily see, despite the bundle of blankets the woman has wrapped her child in, the elements were too much, and the child has passed away.
Cold. Must be warm. Mother is warm. Mother's close. We go to Mother for warmth.
The coterie stop in place of where they are as they notice dozens and dozens of small, eyeless babies, all bearing heavy injury, walking towards the grief-stricken mother. Their ethereal, sinister chant repeating over and over, and their intent clear. What would you like to do?
Well, this wasn't forewarned on the map.
I was going to suggest that you could eat that food, Eveline, but it would appear there's competition.
So, Are the creepy children between us and the woman?
This is playing out right in front of you. Creepy children.
So they're like surrounding her.
Yeah, they are marching toward her with ill intent.
I will rush over to the woman and say, "Here, let me help you." And hold out my hands for the baby.
Taking the... There's a sentence I didn't think I'd actually have to say.
Dead baby?
Yeah, you taking a dead baby?
I've taken the dead baby.
And that's it?
Well, that's step one.
Yeah. Please carry on. You'll notice these children
I will
beginning
take
to
the
encompass her.
baby, hand it to Thurston, and then reach out my hand to her to pull her close.
Small doll-like
Yes, I just randomly handed Thurston a dead baby. What's that line?
The small doll-like monsters swarm the woman, clinging to her in a twisted mockery of hugging her. With force, they drive their fingers and toes into her skin, overpowering Eveline, lifting her over their heads and carrying her off towards the darkest corner of the alleyway. In the panic, she drops the remainder of the blankets. She attempts to reach for it and fight against the possessed baby-like monsters. They simply carry her off, their chant and her screams soon ebbing away into the darkness and distance. A stray dog, noticing the commotion, trots in, sees the remains of the blanket, quickly runs towards it, scooping it up in its maw, and runs off with its prize, leaving only footprints and the abandoned rag-like blankets that anything was ever there in the first place.
I call after the creepy kids. Hey, that was mine!
Eveline, take 1 humanity stain. Thurston, Inspector Gray, take 2.
Pride.
Okay.
Really? Do it when I care?
Still taking the stains.
Okay.
Committed an act of inhumanity by just standing there watching.
Try.
Eveline did at least try, which is why she's only taking 1.
And Thurston's now holding a dead baby.
Eveline, you shouldn't have played with your food. You had an opportunity to eat her.
Tried.
Inspector Gray, as a near sociopathic monster, having witnessed this mother, this grief-stricken mother, being torn off, kidnapped and taken goodness only knows where into the shadows by goodness only knows what are you thinking and feeling right now?
It's a waste. There was a perfectly good meal in front of Eveline, and she was too slow to enjoy it.
How do you feel?
I guess annoyed that the food was put to waste.
Thurston, you've just witnessed this extremely strange, possibly disturbing occurrence. You're left with a dead baby in your arms, cradling it. You've got 4 humanity, so you can still feel something. What's Thurston thinking and feeling, having witnessed this bizarre event?
Are we still in East Side?
You're just coming out of the East End into the West. It's literally at the end of this alleyway.
Oh, good. So this isn't even the part that we were trying to avoid.
This is where it led.
Yeah. I will... Or Thurston will have put the baby down somewhat gently. Not just the ew and then drop it. Yeah, he didn't really understand, fully anyway, Aldrich's fear and disdain for the ethereal undead. But he's starting to get it.
How does Thurston feel right now?
Like he wants to leave and go wherever we're supposed to be going. That hopefully this was just a coincidence.
Eveline, part of your very core beliefs is helping women in need, and you did try. But despite your half-hearted effort, she was still carried off into complete darkness. What are you thinking and feeling right now?
Feeling very guilty. Her original plan was to drink from the woman and put her out of her misery, basically. It felt like the right thing to do. And now who knows what's going to happen to her. And Eveline failed. Even though it was out of her control, she still feels very guilty for letting that woman go.
Is that a culmination of not just your food got away, but the fact that another woman in Victorian London, victim of yet more abuse?
About the food right now, it's like she's hungry, but that's not what it was really about. That was just going to be a bonus.
Would you all like to proceed out of the alleyway? As you head out of the alleyway, you find a very nice, extravagant carriage awaiting you. A very large, black carriage with gold lining. You know it is simply there waiting for you, as the black horses remain silent and the driver greets you by a tip of his stovepipe hat.
Oh, now this is more like it.
Yes, a very nice and dashing carriage indeed.
Are we not going to discuss what just happened?
I'd rather not.
I mean, neither should I, or would I, but it's not something that happens every night.
What is there to discuss? Eveline was playing with her food and she lost her meal.
I tried to help
thing,
her.
Yeah, the part where she lost it to a horde of eyeless children, was it? Eyeless children.
Little ghost children.
They're not
Yes.
here now. If they're not in our way, then I don't see what the problem. There's just a lost opportunity.
Well, they weren't here before, but then they showed up and became a problem. It's just ignoring them, hoping that they don't come back.
Try to steal my next meal?
I hope not.
If they get in our way again, we will have to deal with it. Best not to just give them food. It's our food.
I didn't give it to him. I was trying to save her.
You're getting hung up on the food part, Inspector. I don't think this was for food.
Are you that hungry?
I'm not terribly hungry, but I could have a bite. But that was our whole point of stopping for that lady because Eveline was hungry. What other point would there
No,
be?
it wasn't. She was a woman in need.
No, she was kind. You needed blood. She was food.
I mean, that would be a nice bonus.
Yes, but Inspector, if you're for a better example, in your mortal life, if you were eating a sandwich and a dragon showed up and took your sandwich, would you be upset that your sandwich is gone or that a dragon just stole it?
I would be annoyed that my food was taken and that there is now a dragon barring me from achieving sustenance, However, there is no dragon barring us from achieving sustenance at this time. Those
No, just an army of eyeless children, which to me honestly sounds a lot worse than a dragon.
Thurston, you're telling me an army of children frightens you?
When they're eyeless and they all sing in harmony like that, yes.
Very well, so an army of blind children terrifies Mr. Simp. I will keep that in mind.
I mean, you smoke enough, you see little dragons.
That I wouldn't know. I mean, a dragon was just and I really need to find out what they put in that stuff Aldrich's been selling.
Shall we move on with our night? I assume, Evelyn, you're not hungry anymore because you would have eaten if you were hungry.
I'm hungry.
Very well, let's go find another meal. Try not to lose it this time.
I'll hook into Thurston's arm again as we head toward the carriage and say, "You're really starting to annoy me."
The feeling is mutual.
Carry on.
You each step inside of the carriage and find a very comfortable seat inside. As soon as you are settled, a slide from the driver's side opens up, and you just hear a voice asking you, "Where would you like to go today?"
Well, if neither are you going to tell him, I give him directions to the opium den.
"As you wish, madam." And the slide just shuts
Gentleman
quickly.
usually answers that question.
Shame there aren't any in the carriage with you.
Right?
Is there anything you would like to discuss en route, or would you like to just arrive at Aldrich's imported den of delight?
I'll, on the ride, I'll go ahead and mend a wound.
AIDD.
Now, Inspector, what if it was... What if it was a really scary dragon? Like claws and fire breathing and spoken riddles.
If a terrifying dragon stole my sandwich, I would cut my losses, I would not engage the dragon, and I would go find another sandwich post-haste.
Yes, but you wouldn't be... You wouldn't spend your entire afternoon looking over your shoulder in case the dragon decided to show its maw again?
Well, Thurston, please clarify for me, was the dragon after me or my sandwich? Because if the dragon was after my sandwich, I'm not concerned for my safety. It has my sandwich, we can move on.
Yes, but... Why did it want your sandwich? That is the scary part.
How am I supposed to know what goes on in the mind of a dragon? If the dragon is after me, I will defend myself as best I can.
Nor I know what goes on in the mind of an army of eyeless children. I just don't understand why... I don't know. I give up. I wish Aldrich was here.
The carriage travels serenely through the icy city of London, eventually coming to a halt outside of Aldrich's opium den. Who is going inside?
I'll go.
Yeah, I'm not planning on eating, but I'll go inside too.
And you head inside, finding the elegant, thin form of Anezka behind the counter.
Being a little fed up with those two, I don't take anyone's arm and I lead the way in.
Eveline! Ah. It's finally taking your place at the head of this group.
Don't judge them so harshly.
I'm glad to see that someone capable is in charge when Master Aldrich is absent.
Well, I mean, it is just natural.
It has been some time since I have seen Master Aldrich. Perhaps we should do something a little naughty. Would you like his room?
Oh, that would be delightful.
Marvelous. And what physical delights may I interest you in tonight?
I need something with a little pep.
I understand.
A gentleman,
about you?
please.
And what about your little pet rat?
Surely they can speak for themselves.
Yes, his name is Inspector Gray.
Indeed. Who else did you think I was referring to?
Well, and we wouldn't be the first person to refer to a rat in this group, and it usually ends up being me.
Then they severely underestimate you, Thurston.
Indeed. I'm good, however. Inspector Gray, you feel free.
Yes, I was just awaiting my turn. No one addressed me, of course. I'll just take, just anyone is fine. It doesn't matter.
Yes, of course. Anyone would be just fine.
Maybe we should give him something to take the edge off a little bit.
I love the way you think.
He needs to
Thurston.
chill.
Thurston, what would you care for tonight?
I am actually quite satiated, thank you.
Does that matter?
Such a voyeur.
Yes, I wish not to press my luck with what has gone on so far this evening.
I'm rather satiated myself, but one can never have too much blood.
Surely you don't want to be upstaged by that. Live a little, Thurston. It's what we're here for.
I definitely plan on it, but again, thank you.
Bet we could find you something that'll make you see dragons.
I prefer not.
No loss.
I'm already avoiding Irish children.
Why would you avoid them? Unless you were trying to collect eyeballs.
You should have seen them. They were quite creepy.
Mm-mm. And
Sounds thrilling.
That's coming from someone that finds regular children quite creepy. So,
But they're so easy to hunt.
They need to be in the factories working, making a living.
Or up a chimney. That way they're much harder to escape.
That works too.
Very well. Eveline, you know the way. First door, the right.
I'll curtsy. Lead the way.
Enjoy. But she'll be checking out Eveline. She's going, just, damn that ass.
I'll add a little extra sway to my bustle.
You head inside of Aldrich's private VIP room. Is there anything you would like to discuss while you wait?
Thurston, don't worry, I'll share with you. I'm not very hungry anyways.
I don't think it's quite kindred etiquette to share.
Good, I was being polite.
Love it. The door is opened moments later by Ineska, who gently guides someone who is quite clearly under the influence of whatever mysterious medicine Eveline asked for, and sits himself next to the graceful figure of Eveline. She grabs another man by the clothes on his collar and throws him at Inspector Gray's feet. He seems slightly dazed. She bows her head in respect to Eveline and just slams the door shut. Who would like to feed first?
I will, of course, start singing to my prey victim meal. A very body sexy, like what the prostitutes sing type song.
Do your feeding roll for me, please. And how much are you willing? How much are you looking to slake tonight?
3, I believe. Yes,
That
3.
will be a humanity stain if you take 3.
No, I'm at 4.
So I phrased it badly. How much blood would you like to take? 2 or 3 points. 1, 2 or 3 points, really.
When you take
Take
3,
3, it'll give me a humanity stain?
Yes,
Yeah,
because
'cause
you're
it's
leaving him
dangerous.
needing medical attention.
Oh, okay. I see. Even if I don't kill him. I'll just do 2 then.
Okay. That's a success.
I'm picturing the song that she's singing is "These galoshes were made for walking."
Close. Eveline gives a very seductive, sultry performance of "You Can Leave Your Hat On" as she runs her fingers over her prey's skin, teasing his neck with her lips, and as she nuzzles into him, hiding her 4 extending, dangerously sharp fangs and sinking them into the man's flesh, extracting the body-warm liquid inside, and taking just enough to satisfy her, leaving the man in an extremely aroused and ecstatic state. Slake 2 hunger. And add 1 die to a pool of your choosing. Inspector Gray.
I will, just, nothing fancy, I'm just going to grab him and feed.
Do strength and brawl, actually, for me, for a feeding roll.
Okay. Oops. One.
Sticking
I
with
mean,
it?
this dude's all drugged.
What?
You sticking with it, or would you like it to re-roll the 3? Well, would you like to roll 3, 4, 5?
Yeah, I'll re-roll the 3, 4, 5.
Okay. Would you like success at cost?
Nah, I'll just shove him aside.
Okay.
I'm not that hungry anyways.
That's fair. Inspector Gray attempts to force himself upon his prey, but as soon as he sees Inspector Gray's death-like pallor and the 4 fangs extending, he panics and pushes him off him, running out of the door and back into the opium den, where the coterie can hear a crash as he is clearly intercepted by Inezka.
What do you call that?
Why is the food so lively just running off like that?
You just let your food get away. Without any assistance from a dragon or creepy children.
Well, it could have been one of those dragons you spoke of, Evelyn.
Not before he's eaten his prey.
I prefer prey that's asleep. That one's just too lively for my tastes.
It was supposed to be sleepy. Sure your reflexes are okay there?
My reflexes are fine.
I would like to try to just kind of like poke him in the cheek or something. Just to touch him to see if he can block my reflexes.
Dexterity brawl. Inspector Gray, dexterity athletics.
Oh, really?
It's not worth doing a reroll, is it?
No.
But that is...
Aha, but he
Jesus! It's one of those times where... Yeah, wow. Evelyn, as the aggressor, will be successful. And she, faster than lightning, pokes you in the side of the face.
You are getting a little slow there, old man.
I'll just stare at her. Did you want to keep that hand?
Should have caught it while you could.
Inspector Gray,
Yeah.
do a Fury Frenzy test for me, please.
I did just literally poke the bear. Vampire.
Oh, sorry. What was the difficulty?
3.
3. I need to do that again.
No, you're fine. That's a fail.
I did. Oh, it's a fail?
Yeah, the pool will be the same,
Yeah.
just difficulty will change, but...
Gotcha.
The beast inside of Inspector Gray is infuriated by the humiliation and takes complete control of him. After destroying the subject of his ire, Inspector Gray can make a willpower test at difficulty 3 if other enemies remain standing and successful in the frenzy. For the moment, though, you need to attack Evelyn.
Alright. I will jump back and throw a dagger at him.
Dexterity athletics. Evelyn, how would you like to respond?
I'd like to dodge.
Dexterity and athletics for me, please. What happens when Aldrich's not here?
I will do a willpower.
Really?
I'm gonna keep frenzying until I'll keep frenzying until I hurt her, right? Is that how this works?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, you don't have to do the reroll.
Oh, okay.
Don't have to.
Alright, I'll leave it as is.
Yeah. Inspector Gray pulls out one of his enchanted daggers and skillfully throws it at Evelyn, who is much, much faster and is able to dodge out of the way as the dagger embeds itself in the wall of Aldrich's VIP room.
I would like to yell loudly, so this is Eveline yelling loudly, for security. Intending Inezka to hear. I assume she has some sort of security.
Sort of. Search for her bloody sheep. There she is. Okay. And Nezka, within seconds, will burst in through the door and immediately see Inspector Grey in his frenzied state and just give this disappointed, deliberate sigh. Of course.
Help?
Miss Eveline, how would you like me to dispose of them?
I just need him subdued. His meal got away.
I might be able to help.
Very well. And she will just pounce upon Inspector Grey almost immediately, as if she's been waiting for this opportunity for quite some time. Inspector Grey,
Yeah.
how would you like to respond?
Well, if she's pouncing on me, that's a brawl in strength, right?
Oh, it's going to be an
That'd be
attempt
grapple,
to grapple,
wouldn't
isn't
it?
it? You can dodge out of
Yeah.
the way, though. That is also...
Oh yeah, I'll try dodging.
Okay, so Dex Athletics.
Nah.
I'm going to go crit fish and re-roll 3. Yes!
Well, okay. Why don't I go crit fishing
So,
and we roll 1. Nah, whatever. Go ahead. You can have.
Anezka pounces upon Inspector Grey, subduing him immediately. The rest of the coterie can see as she reaches behind her, pulling out a wooden stake. Is there anything you'd like to do, or are you just going to let her stake him?
Yeah, hold on. And I know I have to crit for this to be successful, so you might end up still getting staked anyway. Now, hold on. Gray, you need to calm down, and I'm going to look him in the eyes and cast Quell the Beast on him.
Let me quell the beast, please.
But like I can only stop his frenzy if I crit, so crit and succeed.
Okay, do a rouse check for me, please.
Rouse check.
And do Charisma and Animalism, Inspector Grey, Stamina and Resolve.
Oh, come on.
Reroll that.
Yeah, I'll reroll 3.
Yes!
Yay!
Nice. You succeeded and you
Perfect.
crit.
Thanks for putting that in the script, Shiv. It makes me feel really good.
Okay. And you will successfully quell the raging beast inside of Inspector Grey, and he will visibly become calmer.
It worked so well.
Anezka just looks at Thurston, still holding the stake in her clenched fist, give you this look of almost disappointment. Sheathe the stake. Scurry out of the room,
Thank you
Giving
very
Eva-
much for your help.
giving Eveline a small nod and wink.
Now, I'd prefer not to have to do that anymore tonight, Inspector.
Yes, I would. Well, thank you, Thurston. I seem to have lost myself. Please don't needlessly provoke me. None of us want this to occur again. All right, Lady Eveline.
Don't needlessly provoke me. And I'll walk out of the room.
I will follow after.
Yeah. I'm just gonna murmur, I miss Aldrich, and then follow them both.
That was some trick you have there, Thurston. Thank you.
Yes, it was a trick I learned quite recently to start maybe quelling some of the kind around that we have to deal with at times.
As you begin to head out towards the carriage, Inezka will stop Inspector Grey. Just say, "You need to behave yourself in future. I will patch up the wall, and it will be as if it never happened. But should it happen again, I have no issue sending you to your final death."
Thank you for your assistance, and the threats are not needed.
Yes, they are. And she'll
Should
just
you
walk off.
attempt?
You could still say it, but she's just going.
Motivation.
He's walked off one direction. I've walked off to the carriage.
Kill Aldrich's mouthy secretary.
Thurston's standing in the door with his head in his hands.
You head out, and once more get back into the carriage. The driver slides a small slit in the carriage open and asks, "Madam, where to?"
Good question. Where are we going?
Russell Square.
There.
Ah, Russell Square, yes. And the carriage heads off through the icy city. Inspector Grey. No, actually, we'll leave the best for last. Eveline, having witnessed Inspector Grey rapidly lose his humanity and descend into frenzy before your eyes from arguably an extremely small provocation, what are you thinking and feeling right now?
Annoyed at him, for one, but she was annoyed with him before. A little scared, not necessarily of him, but of what he might do and of his unpredictability.
You have all witnessed whites, which are the product of kindred losing all their humanity. Do you fear that he may be treading too close to that line at the moment?
I don't think she'd really be considering it yet. She should be, but she's a little too self-absorbed for that.
Is Eveline having any kind of plots on how to subdue him should the need arise?
She was not going to stop Inezka from staking him, and is kind of making a mental note that maybe she should start carrying a stake around too.
I've got two.
Thurston.
Where went Alistair and those chopsticks?
Thurston,
Yes.
having been almost standing on the lines witnessing all this, and literally being the only reason that it stopped, what are your thoughts and feelings right now?
Funny enough, oh man, I'm glad that worked. I've never tried that before. And mainly trying to figure out how he's going to explain this to Aldrich without Aldrich immediately going, "Oh, right, so we'll dispose of Inspector Grey then, as he's becoming a problem." And probably along the same lines that Eveline stated that she's thinking, where if this happens again tonight, I don't know if we're gonna be able to stop it if it happens again. Without too much happening.
Do you have any plots, ideas on how you would subdue him if the need arose? Is Thurston even thinking about that?
He would probably, just off of gut instinct, he would probably attempt the Quell the Beast again in hopes that he might get lucky a second time, but in all honesty, he'd probably just try and run away. That's what he's best at.
Fair. Inspector Gray. I'm not sure.
Annoyed.
Just annoyed. I mean, your humanity has plunged over the course of the year. You used to be a fine, upstanding member of the local constabulary, and now you are verging on becoming an aimless, murderous monster. How does that make you feel?
There's nothing wrong with me. I'm perfectly fine. Everyone else is trying my patience and annoying. Eveline should have known better to not provoke me for no reason. And whoever that assistant of Aldrich's is, who won't name herself, is so mouthy. Gray would like to eliminate her. So he's going to have to talk to Aldrich about getting rid of his assistant, because she is nothing but disrespectful to Gray.
Talking of his mysterious assistant, you have witnessed something akin to this with your now deceased wife. When she was turned, she was very much the way that Gray is now. Have your thoughts and feelings on that changed at all since you have descended to this?
I think my humanity, while that's definitely a true correlation or something to mirror, I don't think Gray is in the state of the mind to connect those dots. I think with his low humanity, it's just not something he's thinking. Although true it is.
The carriage travels through the snow and ice-covered city, passing by the picturesque, almost serene British Museum, and pulls up in Russell Square. Rows of tall houses with bright red bricks surround the snow-saturated, leafless trees in the centre of the area. Thurston once more consults with the map and points out the exact house they need to go to, then turns the map upside down and realises the correct house that they need to go to meet with this so-called expert. The coterie exit the carriage and carefully place their feet firmly on the ice-covered path, approaching the front door of the grand house, and ring for attention. Is there anything you wish to discuss before the door is answered? The door is opened by a valet in a dark, formal suit, his silk black bow tie, in a perfect knot, shines slightly under the gaslight streets and ice in the area. He raises an eyebrow and addresses the coterie. Yes? What business have you? I assure you we are not interested in carol singers at this time of night.
Are you sure? Because I'm the best singer in London.
I couldn't care if you were the singer for the Queen herself. We have no interest, and we have hot water on hand.
I actually forget what we're doing here.
I
know Endymion told us to come here, but...
You're there to consult with someone who is apparently going to be able to assist you eliminating the Setites. Thurston actually knew this, And that's why his router has decided to reset and screw the overlay up and leave you all lurching in the darkness.
We can use this opportunity to take a caroling.
O come all ye Nosferatu.
Figgy pudding.
And so how may I help the three of you, even though one of you is incredibly silent?
We have been given this address to meet a consultant regarding a, we
matter of
need,
things.
yes, we need some pest control.
Ah! You must be the field researchers Dr. Klein is inspecting. Very good, very good. He awaits you in the study. Please come in and head to the door on the right.
I will proceed into the door on the right.
Thurston making an excellent mime. There he goes. Everyone heading in?
We were just invited in, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I will not take anyone's arm as I walk in.
The coterie enter into the grand building, stepping onto the well-polished wooden floor, and immediately feel the warmth of the house compared to the bitter, biting, ice-cold streets of London. As instructed, they make their way through the impressively decorated hallway, passing a grandfather clock, plants somehow still in bloom, exotic trophies and decorations clearly from different parts of the world, and head into the impressive book-filled study, finding a wiry, older man sat at a coffee table with a crystal decanter in his hand. Still holding the decanter as he greets the coterie. Ah! Good evening! You must be the researchers I have been told about. Your interest is in Nephron Carr, as I understand it. Is that correct?
Yes, we are interested in Nephron Carr.
Lovely, lovely. Oh, so sorry. Forgive my manners. Please, take a seat. Drink, anyone. I have this very fine XXO cognac, aged for 15 years. I purchased it in France when I was travelling back from Egypt myself some time ago. A brief stop-off in La Rochelle, and then made my way to cognac itself. Only way to guarantee I could purchase something authentic after all.
Please, thank you.
Of course.
Yes, I would love a glass.
And you, sir, I say, you look very cold. I strongly recommend a medicinal batch.
I certainly appreciate the offer, but I do not drink any. I'm sober at the moment.
Oh, how dull. But as you wish. And he'll pour out 2 extra glasses for you each in a brandy bubble and pass them over to you.
I wait for someone to pull out my chair before I sit down.
It's a massive couch.
Oh, it's a couch. Okay, well, now I'll sit down.
Now then, to business, yes?
I'll swirl it around and sniff it, but not actually drink it.
Legend of Nephron Carr. A guardian in life, loyal to the dynasty of the time. So loyal, in fact, he volunteered to guard the royal family on their way to the afterlife after his passing. Unbeknownst to him, however, apparently magical viziers bound his soul to a gem and sacrificed him to, well, some tellings say Anubis, some Osiris, others still Set. What they all agree on, though, is that whosoever holds the stone commands Nefernkar even through death. Something that, if you believe in myth, is a source of great anger to the Guardian, who swore it his word to only protect the Pharaoh. The current owner, as I understand it, is one Halem Bey. From what I understand, he believes in this legend so much he purchased the gem and keeps it on him at all times, and sought out practitioners of dark mystic arts. He shared a fraction of the power of the stone with 3 of his followers. One of them is dead. 2 others are yet still alive. I believe one is called Patricia. She owns a brothel in the East End, and a man named Ferguson that runs a strange form of Freemasonry, completely corrupted from its original intent. Now, if you are a believer in the arcane or not, killing both his followers will certainly weaken Mr. Bey and his resolve. If, and I stress the if very strongly, there is anything mystical with that large green stone, then you will need to kill Halem. Personally, I would prefer the gem being destroyed, as I would prefer the gem not being destroyed, as supposedly, if anyone that does not possess the blood of the god of Set tries to keep the stone, then Set himself will destroy the thief.
It all seems very rude.
It's a very crude culture.
So impolite.
Interesting. So, attacking the friends will weaken the gem's power?
They say, if you believe in such strange stories, that Halem sought out Arcanists specifically to imbue his followers in order to secure the stone's safety and Neferenkar's loyalty.
I see. And the stone needs to be destroyed because only someone of the blood of Set can wield it.
I would recommend returning the stone. If, and I stress if, you believe in mystical legends, the stone is supposed to rest in Neferenkar's tomb. Perhaps, if...
Go on, go on.
No, I know what it's like to be a woman in a meeting, please.
So, what happens if someone were to just take the stone and keep it for their own?
Supposedly, if you are not blood of Set, whatever that means, it will bring grave misfortune upon you. It's funny, quite funny, I suppose, lending stock to the rumour, not that I wish to. Halem is by no means the first to possess the stone. In fact, the ferry that it was brought upon was sunk fairly recently.
So I take it...
I'm sure.
Of course. So I take it we should acquire this stone and then return it to the Nakarn sarcophagus?
Well, it is entirely possible. Given how much fortune Halem Bey has invested in artifacts from the Middle East, that he has brought over enough of Neferenkar's tomb and hidden it away somewhere. That tomb would have been the resting place originally of the stone, although quite where one is going to hide even remote part of a tomb in the middle of London, I am unsure.
Very well. So I suppose we will track down his followers, learn the location of this tomb, and then go after him himself and take the stone and put it in the tomb.
By Jove, that's a spirit. Talking of spirits, cognac, anyone?
Oh, I'm
It
still
is
working on my
quite-
glass. And again, I'll sniff it and swirl it around, but not actually take a drink.
Very well. Sir? You do look
It's
rather
quite delicious.
off.
I would not mind some more, thank you.
Of course, of course. Not going to do any more harm now, is it? You'll pour yourself some more. Is there anything else I may assist you with tonight?
This greatly furthers our research. Thank you.
You're most welcome. I wish you the best of luck, but that accursed gem, if you do not return it, try to destroy it. Hundreds of years of bad luck have followed those who disregard the warning. Napoleon, Julius Caesar, to name but two. Learn from history, and return the stone to its resting place.
Thank you. We will heed that advice.
No one's going to ask what the stone looks like? Okay.
Oh,
I thought you said it was green. Big and green.
No one's going to...
and what does the
Okay.
stone look like?
It's big and green.
What shade of green?
I will be on the lookout for a big green stone then.
Alright, goddammit, all of you. Intelligence or wits and investigation.
Wait. Oh, sorry.
I found that really funny for some reason. The one person that has an extra dot in something got one
Yeah.
less success.
What?
Oh, there we go.
That's
Oh,
the
yeah,
way the
thanks.
die rolling rolls.
Mhm.
Inspector Gray, you will remember from your visit to Halen Bay's shop, he had a gemstone that matched exactly that description on display over the counter. Well then, I wish you the best of luck. Have a lovely evening.
You too, sir.
I'll curtsy and then set my still full glass down.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Well, when we get back into the carriage, I believe Halen Bay has that gemstone in his shop over the counter.
So, why don't we just go there and steal it?
Well, we need to learn the location of the tomb if we want to be able to put it away, put it back in its resting place. And what he was saying was if we go straight after the gem, it'll be more powerful than if we eliminate the individuals that have, I guess, pieces of the power that'll weaken the gem.
It's if we
So
go
if we-
after Halen Bay. If we just steal the stone and keep it for ourselves, we can use its power. And I'm sure it'll be quite lovely with my eyes.
Knowing our luck, Halen Bay will likely be there when we show up. And if you steal it for yourself and wear it, who's to say the magical effects of the stone doesn't cause the sun to rise early or something? I would hate to get caught in that.
Superstitious poppycock. So we go, I create a distraction, you two get all invisible and just take it.
I feel like that is, there's too many variables with that plan.
Yes, we underestimated this man the last time we were there, and that was Oldrick, and he doesn't normally do that. I think a proper plan B is in the works here. We should go in expecting the worst and hoping for the best.
I mean, it seems simple enough, though. Worst case scenario, he sees you, and we're going to know that before we steal the stone.
Fair.
And we don't get in a fight with him, so we don't have to worry about whether or not he's weakened.
Well, we also have to consider the fact that our presence will not be quite welcome, considering the way that we left things off on our last visit.
Yes,
Well,
and if he
I will go
sees
back
us,
to apologize.
Inspector?
yes. I'm worried if we try to sneak in and he sees us, then that will give away the element of surprise with what we are attempting. I feel it's best to line things up so all the advantages are on our side.
So what's your suggestion?
Well, like when we discussed with the scholar, we go after the two lackeys. We get information from them regarding the resting place in the tomb. We kill them to weaken the gem. And then we go after Halen Bay with the gem. Once we secure the gem, we return it to its rightful resting place.
Well, then let's go off this. What was the guy's name? Ferguson?
Ferguson, yes.
Ferguson. So let's go off this Ferguson gentleman and see what happens.
Very well, so I guess we will start tracking down the individuals.
Yeah, we should start with Ferguson.
Oh, okay. There's Ferguson, one of the lackeys. I mean,
Yeah, it's Ferguson and Patricia.
Ferguson and Patricia. Yes. Yes, that's a brilliant place to start. Let's go after Ferguson.
Thurston, having gained all this information, having learned that there is some sort of strange curse and that there is in fact a fucking mummy out there after you all,
Yes.
what are you thinking and feeling right now?
Well, I don't honestly feel a lot different than how I felt earlier. There's a mummy out there. There's an army of eyeless children that we still don't know anything about. Aldrich isn't here. The inspector is slowly losing himself.
Do you feel
which
any
wasn't
regret or confusion about all these things you've got yourself wrapped up in?
Yeah, a bit confused on. I mean, I know why we've interacted with the Setites before, but why are they after us now? Other than I don't know, it just doesn't feel like they're after us for any obvious reasons. So the fact that...
Apart from the fact that you were specifically sent off after them.
Well, yeah, but I mean... That was the Camarilla telling us to do it. I feel like the Setites are kind of used to it by now. Almost. To some degree. So the fact that they're now going, hey, fuck these kindred in particular, feels a bit odd. But, I mean, life is a kindred. Am I right?
Eveline! Having been told that you have to, in some way, shape or form, eliminate Patricia, that you are familiar with from the brothel, what are you thinking and feeling right now because of that?
I have no intention of eliminating Patricia.
Is that because you want the pretty stone, or because you actually feel a kinship with Patricia?
Both. So, kinship with Patricia, but at the same time, she's also thinking of if she gets the stone, Patricia might know how to use it, make her even more powerful.
And Eveline thinks it's a good idea to give Patricia control of a never-dying mummy.
Does Evelyn have any reason not to trust Patricia? Yet?
Inspector Gray! You've been informed that you have to kill Ferguson. You will probably recognize from the description of Ferguson and how to find him that that is the person in charge of the cult you were sent to infiltrate. What does Inspector Gray think about this?
Well, it's a bit of an inconvenience that I'll have to blow my cover, potentially going after Ferguson. But if the ends justify the mean, as in if going after Ferguson and Trisha to get the gem and return it will ultimately deal a fatal blow to our enemies, then fine.
Okay.
Right? We are supposed to be working against the Setites, right?
Yep. This would bring an end to that task that you have been given.
Yeah, so it's one more thing I can check off my docket and move on. So right now, Ferguson and Patricia, unless I'm given a solution that doesn't involve eliminating them, they are standing in my way to get to the gym and to complete my task of eliminating this Setite intrusion.
And where would you like to head first, then? To Ferguson's stone temple?
Sure, it's as good a place as any.
The carriage comes to a halt outside of the large, snowy temple. Stone Temple stands over the area of the city, with ice draping off the tall slate ceiling, glistening under the silver moonlight. The large wooden doors are slightly cracked open to show they are open, and the 3 stone stairs that lead up to the main entrance have been cleared of snow and ice, and fine pieces of salt and grit have been dusted over them to allow safe passage inside the building. How would you like to proceed?
Surely you two can take care of him, right? Why don't we split up? Why don't you take care of him? I'll go take care of Patricia.
We don't know how powerful these individuals are. Surely splitting up would not be advantageous.
Indeed, I've had my dealings with Patricia before, and I know that she is quite capable of overtaking any of us if she needs to.
But she won't be
individually.
expecting it coming from me.
And what if we need your assistance with Ferguson?
Surely you're capable enough to handle it on your own.
Yes, I'm quite sure we're capable of handling it, but why take an unnecessary risk?
I mean, we need to take out both of them, right? It only makes sense to split up.
Yes, but we've come to know by now, Evelyn, that most things in this city that we are tasked to take out are often better taken out as a group.
I don't think there was any time constraint levied on us that would require us to eliminate them all in short succession. Was there?
Well, unless he warns her.
Yes, indeed, we don't want anybody going off to Patricia and warning her of any unfortunate events that are that are coming her way.
Like,
Which is exactly why I think you should accompany us to take him out so he can't do that.
or you take him out and I take her out, so they never have a chance to warn each other.
Yes, but if something were to happen to you, Evelyn, I don't think Aldrich would let me outlive it.
You doubt my abilities?
No. But I do know what Patricia is capable of. And considering what your friend's young man was capable of doing to you, I feel like Patricia is much more capable than he is.
It was a different situation entirely.
Was it though?
Well, yes, definitely.
Well, it occurs to me that where Ferguson is at is a members only club, so I alone may only be able to enter. So I think Evelyn does have a great point here. I will go after Ferguson, and Thurston and Evelyn, you go after Patricia.
That's quite a compromise. I am not entirely against this change of agreement. Evelyn.
Kirsten, are you sure you don't want to go invisible and keep an eye on Inspector Gray? Especially keeping in mind how he was acting earlier?
Considering our task is to eliminate the target, I'm not entirely uncomfortable with letting Gray out on his own. I think he is entirely capable of that.
I'm kind of worried about him being so unpredictable. He could
Yes.
screw this entire thing up for us.
Yes. I too am very unsure about the unpredictability of our coterie members, Evelyn. So, I believe, how about I go invisible now, and you go off, and then I figure out which one I should follow from that point out.
Oh,
I'm
so we
looking
can
up
both
places.
assume you're with us. That's a fantastic
Exactly.
idea, Thurston. Just don't let me down.
I won't, Inspector.
Yeah, don't let him down.
So, hold on, let me double check this power real quick. So
Where are we at right now? Are we standing outside the carriage or are we still in the carriage?
We're still in the carriage. So are the carol singers.
I thought that was just the music in Eveline's head.
I have no idea why, but for some reason I don't have a duration on Unseen Passage.
I think
I
it's
think
because
it-
it's either until you turn it off or you've been detected.
Gotcha. Okay, well that's good. I didn't want to just turn it on now and then the scene change and we could lose it. So, if we are to proceed, and I will snap my fingers and activate Unseen Passage.
You can't do that while we're looking at you.
That's what I was going to say.
That's why I asked where we were.
I will look away from those.
I will open the carriage door and offer him to leave.
Just drop your trousers and make Eveline look away out of modesty.
Thought about
What? It's a solution.
No, I know. I was contemplating it. Well, as soon as you begin to open the door, are you heading out or?
Oh, you need to step away to do it, don't you?
Not into the crowded streets, no.
Oh, Eveline, here, step outside with me, and then we can allow Thurston the privacy of the carriage to go invisible.
We'll look around at the really pretty carriage. Okay.
I step out. Okay.
I also step out. And
Yeah.
run up and slap the horse.
Okay.
On the rump, to get him start
Yeah.
running.
It's not going to have the effect you want, though. I'm
I want
afraid.
the horse to run off.
I know.
Evelyn
The horse
gets
is just
kicked in
going to
the face
stand
by a
there,
horse.
chilled, sort of turn its head, and the driver will say, "What are you doing?"
You need to go. You need to go fast. Go now.
Why?
It's an emergency. Just go.
Where?
Anywhere but here.
Can't just go anywhere. I need a sense of direction.
I'll give him the address to the theater.
Oh, I was gonna stealthily rouse check. I rolled 20, bro.
As you wish, madam. There's nothing stopping you, Thurston, from jumping out of a moving carriage.
I know. I was. While she was talking, I was going to rouse check to turn invisible and leave, but my rouse check was broken.
I think it's fair to say you can still do that.
Yeah, I'll just be silently standing next to Gray, invisible, and I'll give you my rouse check as soon as it lets me.
Okay. Inspector Gray, Eveline, you watch as the carriage heads off at quite fast pace further into the city. I think Roll20 is having issues.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just refreshing it.
Eveline, you didn't want to take the carriage?
I will entirely ignore Inspector Gray and flag down another carriage.
Inspector Gray will throw his arms up. I don't have time for this. And I will head towards the club.
And Eveline will be able to successfully flag down a common taxi carriage.
I will tell the driver where to go and to get there fast.
Is there anything? I mean, I don't think Roll20 is going to let me roll it at this point, but can I sneak aboard the carriage with Eveline?
Dexterity stealth for me, please. Let me just test. Let me try and restart the API server. Or you could just roll a D10 of your own.
I don't have any of mine on me at the moment.
I can roll for you if you want.
There's also on my
Shiv
dice
can.
rollers.
Well, it finally let me open my character sheet, and I did hit roll. I did roll it, but nothing popped up. So.
Yeah, it's the API that's messed up. Hey, try now.
Alright. Stealth and dexterity. There we go.
Yep, and you'll be able to throw yourself onto the back of the taxi carriage without revealing your cloaked nature, and cling on to it for dear life as it heads at the lightning fast speed of 7 miles an hour through the city. Inspector Grey, head into the grand hall of the stone temple.
Yes.
Finding it surprisingly warm given the crack in the door, and the man standing behind the reception area gives you a small smile and gestures to the usual room with the golden snake entwined upon it, and raises his arm to his left, welcoming you to enter.
Thank you, thank you. I'm here to meet with Ferguson.
Grey enters into the meeting room, finding it mostly empty, with faceless kine gathered together out of the gathering. Roger Pierce steps forward, greets Inspector Grey. Ah! Lovely to see you this morning. Evening. It's rather dull here tonight, mind you. It has been dull here for a fair old while, though. I say, though, sir, you look like a man on a mission.
Oh, yes, I'm here. Nothing exciting, just business.
Look over his shoulder. Do say, old boy, do say.
I just have a business discussion with Ferguson.
Leaning closer still. If, tonight, shall we say, is your night, and he excitedly sips on his whiskey, count me in, sir. As a maniacal grin crosses over his face. I have been scouting the room like a hawk, and I think I can get us into Ferguson's private chambers. And before you say anything, yes, us. I'll be damned if I let an ally walk into the serpent's nest on his own. Come. But first, let me disperse the crowd here, just to minimize any chance of a masquerade breach, what?
Very well.
Roger Pierce walks his way over to the small gathering, whispers something in one of their ears. They give him a concerned look and begin to tell those around them something else as the crowds begin to finish their drinks and leave. Roger looks rather pleased with himself and returns to Inspector Grey. Now, let's plunge ourselves into the fire, what? Like the old warriors of old.
Indeed.
Pierce walks over to the small wall and seems like he's stroking his hand over the wallpaper until he stops and pushes down. The wall gives a click and the door is revealed, as Pierce gestures for Grey to join him as they storm inside. The decadent room has various plants and golden statues scattered into the room, a gaudy display of exotic art and treasures. Sat upon a throne inside is Ferguson, who is currently feeding what could only be his blood in a cup to two men knelt down in front of him. Pierce shouts to Grey that he'll keep the mortals busy so that Grey can engage with Ferguson. How would you like to proceed, Inspector Grey, as Ferguson foolhardily charges forward? engaging the two mortals in fisticuffs.
If it looks like he has things under control, I will proceed forward towards Ferguson.
Ferguson will rise from his golden throne. Fists clenched and a look of thunderous anger upon his face. You dare defile my sanctuary. You bite the hand that feeds you, and you draw not blood, but disdain.
It's nothing personal, just business, and I will rouse the blood for Ball's caress, and then I will throw a dagger.
Okay, dexterity, athletics. And he is going to dodge with the right stats. Ferguson attempts to dodge out of the way of the incoming dagger, but is far too slow, and ends up taking the dagger into his shoulder, causing him great pain. Ferguson is going to step forward and attempt to strike you with a small dagger he holds on his waist.
I'll try to dodge.
Dexterity and athletics, please. And Inspector Grey easily moves out of the way of the incoming dagger that Ferguson desperately tries to stumble forward with and cause any kind of damage to Inspector Grey, failing miserably. Inspector Grey.
I will spit Ball's caress at him.
Show me Ball's caress. Not going to get over that. Show me how you caress your balls, Mr. Garrison.
So I think I will need to do a range attack to hit them, and then which he can try to dodge, and then I have to do strength plus my blood sorcery plus his stamina plus occult to see if the poison affects him. How bad?
Okay, so dexterity, athletics to do the throw, so to speak, and a rouse check.
Oh, I did the rouse check last.
Okay. And so that is that is a successful hit.
Okay. And then now I think I have to do my strength and blood sorcery.
Blood sorcery against his stamina and occult. Be interesting.
Holy
Useless
crap.
bloody Setite. And that is aggravated damage of... That's very nice. As Grey's dangerous, toxic vitae impacts upon Ferguson's chest, he can immediately see it burning through him, burning his clothes, skin, and even his bones off, causing a gaping hole to appear in the chest, as Inspector Grey can easily see through what remains of the torso, onto the wall behind him. Ferguson falls to the ground, clutching at his chest, but still barely alive, unable to do anything. Inspector Grey?
I will move in a little closer and try to I guess I'll go in melee with a dagger and just actually that'd be I'll just try to punch him.
Punch him or dagger him?
I guess I'll throw it down. That's probably the better for me.
Throwing it?
Yeah, I'll throw it.
Because, I mean, if you wanted to stab him, it would still be dexterity. It would just be dexterity and melee.
Right, I've got 0, man. So I don't...
Oh,
just...
chuck it. Dex, athletics. That is more than enough to throw the dagger at what remains of Ferguson as you watch the spilling vitae onto the floor and your dagger impacts straight through his skull. He finally gives in to his wounds and collapses onto the floor, and you watch as his corpse becomes desiccated. Whatever remained of the skin clings to the few remaining bones around his body. You notice to your side that Pierce has been staked. Though he did manage to fatally wound the ghoul that is currently engaged in combat with him, although in a death-like maneuver, the ghoul decapitates him before collapsing on his own due to blood loss over the laying body of his companion.
So Pierce has been decapitated?
Pierce got decapitated, but he did manage to take out the 2 ghouls with him.
I'll stand over Pierce's body. Well, if you had a head, I would have brought you back. You fought well. Oh well. And then I will... I guess is there anything of interest or note left behind on Ferguson's body?
No.
Okay. In that case,
Looting the corpse?
what?
So
Yeah,
are
well,
you looting the corpse?
I mean, it's questionable how much of a corpse is left. But yeah, I was going to look to see if there's anything of value. If not, then yeah, I'll just clean myself off, compose myself, put a smile on, that predatory fake smile, and then head on out, closing the door like nothing happened.
Very nice. And at this point, I think we'll take a break before we catch up with Eveline and Thurston. So we shall be, hopefully, back very soon. Very suspicious of Eveline and her intent.
It's
Eventually.
cold out here.
It is. The carriage arrives on Commercial Road, a street infamous for never sleeping. Men and women busy around the street, drunk, high or otherwise intoxicated, seeking whatever may satisfy their carnal lust for a small amount of money that they have left. The most popular brothel of the night is Patricia's. Eveline heads inside and finds the tables are filled with people drinking and talking loudly. The regular dancers in each corner are surrounded by moderately large crowd, each leering and throwing whatever money they have at the floor of each one, hoping to catch their attention, even just for a second. Eventually, as Eveline aimlessly wanders through the hall, she is eventually attended to by the usual man wearing the same cheap suit, desperately trying to appear far more upper class than he actually is. Good evening, Miss. Our tables are currently occupied, but I believe, if you wish, I can easily accommodate you.
I'll curtsy. I really appreciate that, but I'm actually here to see Patricia.
Patricia is best to stay in the back with such a crowded environment. We can't have a crowd of feral, amorous men lusting after her all at once, can we? But if you
very
wish, I can arrange for you to meet her in court.
That would be wonderful. I would much rather talk to her in private anyway.
Of course. Please, would you like a drink while you wait?
Be delightful.
Of course. And he'll just... what would you like? We've got both kinds of drinks, beer and lager.
Your best lager, please.
Are you sure? It is German piss.
Your best beer, then.
Are you sure it is English piss?
Give me something in a cup.
Piss in a cup for you. And eventually someone will usher over as the man bows his head, makes his way through the curtains towards the back room. Thurston, what have you been doing whilst all these people are pissing in cups?
Just trying to stay as close to Evelyn as possible. I know that according to the definition of, or the description, sorry, of unseen passage, it does disguise any smells, but I feel like Evelyn, for some reason, would be able to smell Thurston out of a crowd. So,
Maybe not this crowd.
probably. But no, other than that, just keeping very astute eyes on what Evelyn is up to.
Man returns to Eveline, gives her a smile and gently takes the cup out of her hand. Miss Patricia is ready to see you if you so wish.
I willingly give the cup back. Oh, wonderful, delightful. Please, lead the way.
And he will lead you up to the curtain, hold it back for you and say, please, proceed forward. You know the way, I'm sure.
Yes, thank you. And I'll step through, but I'll step just so the curtain is right behind me when it closes, so there's no gap.
Yep.
Basically to see if I'm being followed.
Thurston,
Yes.
gonna try and follow her?
I'm sorry, describe what you're doing again, Evelyn?
I'm stepping, so there's a curtain and I'm stepping literally this far away from it, from my back. So I would see the curtain move if I'm being followed.
Oh, that's a good one. How far down does the curtain go?
All the
Oh,
way.
underneath it.
Okay. No, I wasn't gonna crawl underneath it. I was gonna see if I could see feet. Thank you.
You could try and jump through before you close it. There is a split second.
That's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah, if I can do
It's
that
possible to get through it.
by rolling something.
Dex and stealth, please. It will be slightly difficult, though.
Okay. No, that's fine, because, yeah, I wouldn't know that she was doing that on the other side of the curtain, so...
Just barely managed to jump through before the curtain shut behind Eveline. Using all of your skill, you are able to pin yourself against one of the back walls, with the sound of heavy panting and moaning right behind you, realizing exactly which corridor you're in.
So this corridor leads down to a door, right?
Does.
I will continue to the door, but not go in.
Okay. You will proceed through the wooden corridor, passing various curtained-off chambers with obvious silhouettes of people in the throes of carnal pleasure, and stand by the door at the end of the corridor.
Before I go in, I just whisper, Thurston, if you're here, you know she'll know you're there. And I enter.
Okay. Thurston?
You're entering the secret bookcase.
It's a good question. Is this a secret bookcase or is it just a door?
This is just a door that goes into the storeroom where the secret bookcase is.
Yeah, I'll go into the storeroom. I'm still debating on what I want to do once we get to the secret door.
Eveline?
So I assume that means the storeroom's empty. I know how to get in the secret door, right?
I believe so. I believe that was taught
Yeah, I
to you.
thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. So I will open it. I've already warned Thurston.
And the door
Actually,
opens.
as I open it, I'll say, I mean this for your safety. And then I'll go in.
You will proceed into Patricia's private chambers. Thurston, as you stand in the secret entrance, you know how to activate it already.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do?
How quiet is the storeroom compared to everywhere else?
Do you mean like literally how quiet?
I'm asking because would I be able to use heightened senses to listen in to the secret area without attempting to enter it?
Yeah, you'd be able to hear on the other side.
Okay. Yeah, I was just making sure it wasn't so loud that it overtook everything I could hear from the other side.
Yeah, you'd
Yeah,
be
no,
able to
I'm-
press your mangled ears to the secret entrance and listen in
I
on
may like to
Eveline's
press-
conversation.
Yeah, I may like to press my luck, and I wouldn't let Eveline know this, but she is right. So I'm not going to enter the secret area, but I will try and listen in.
Patricia is on her own inside of her secret chamber, filled with various exotic artifacts. She rises from her chair to greet Eveline. She sticks out both her hands, expecting you to put your own in hers. Sister, such a pleasure, and thank you for your warning in the past.
Of course.
What brings you here this night?
There's something I wanted to talk to you in private. Are we absolutely private right now?
Of course. There are no finer, more private places. You will never find anything tainted here, including men.
Wonderful. But anyway, I've heard rumors of a stone.
I've heard many
That-
rumors of stones myself in this country.
Was the stone called anything? I can't remember.
It was just like generically referred to as a resurrection stone.
It holds a lot of power, and I thought it might be something that would benefit me, and of course, benefit you.
Well, I am most intrigued. Do go on, please. Take a seat.
I'll sit.
And she'll glide elegantly over to her throne and sit, leaning forward, listening intently to you.
So, apparently it's a resurrection stone?
I
Have you heard of those?
I have come across such legends in my time. Tell me, what have you heard?
Ooh. So, apparently it gives the power over a corpse? It seems like something that would be very powerful. And I know where to find one.
Yes, do go on. What powers do you think what do you think we could achieve with such power?
Well, honestly, I've never held such power before. And that's why I'm here asking for your assistance.
Is there someone in particular you wish to bring back? Is that how this mystery stone works?
I don't think I get to choose.
Then what? How does it work? Who does it bring back?
So apparently it brings back a mummy?
I see. And who have told you this information?
Since it was a very delicate subject, they didn't give a name.
I understand. What more do you know about this mummy and this stone? Who possesses this item?
Hedging my bets here. So, I've heard it's in the possession of someone named Halen Bay?
She'll just give you this smile and nod. She'll stand up, her hands behind her back, exposing herself. Not literally.
You wish.
Showing a moment of weakness. And start gliding around you. And as she steps behind you, you'll feel clawed, bony fingers to your throat as she whispers into your ear. You know far too much about my sire and our plans, and I will have to eliminate you, Eveline dear. And she will use her fairer weapons. It's 2 modifier for damage.
Killed.
Still roll.
And that was whispered, so I probably didn't hear it.
You'd have heard it was heightened senses. And if you didn't,
Something very shortly.
you are going to take 3 superficial damage as she runs her clawed, bony fingers across your throat, desperately trying to inflict as much damage upon you as she can.
I will scream. Actually,
Remember, she is behind you as you're sat down.
I'm sorry, you broke up there. What was that?
She is behind you as you are sat down.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Thurston, are you going to be a knight in moldy armor?
Well,
Yeah.
let me scream first.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going to
I
let
think
her
I
do
will.
what she was going to do first.
Do you need to see that? Yeah.
She will just try and dodge out of the way.
Ah!
Okay, so this is what's going to happen. Patricia, elegantly and surprisingly, backflips out of the way, out of Eveline's incoming sound wave. Unbeknownst to her, she finds herself landing in Thurston's extremely tight grip. Thurston, you have her grappled.
Oh, I do. Okay. Sorry, I wasn't expecting it to go this fast because I thought I was still on the other side of the door.
Messy crit. Thought I'd accelerate things.
I hate to bring this up. I want to just go past it. I did get the beast there. Shouldn't have mentioned anything. That's what I get for being honest.
I think
It's okay, you gave me more time to think.
And Eveline, as you notice the elegant figure of Patricia backflipping out of your way, you're shocked, you're hurt, and the beast inside of you is rearing up, clawing for attention as it takes you over. Eveline performs all actions not immediately resulting in someone or something getting harmed at a 2-dice penalty to her pool. This compulsion ends when Eveline incapacitates, destroys, or drives away a target. If the vampire turns on an object, it doesn't matter. You are suffering from the harm compulsion.
Okay.
Thirsty boy.
Thirsty.
As much as I didn't think this is how this was going to go, I do believe that you have some answering to do, Miss Patricia. And if I've got her in a grapple, what kind of information are you talking about with my dear friend Eveline here? And I would try and, I guess, tighten my grip around her and then trying to intimidate.
Strength, intimidation.
Out of her. Oh, fuck, why did I do this? I don't have any dots in intimidation.
Say, she's trying to kill me and you're trying to negotiate with her?
Well, I mean, I had her in a grapple. I don't know.
I think she's going to use composure and resolve to resist. I think that makes most sense.
It felt the right thing to do in the moment.
Oh, Thurston.
Yeah.
Thurston, would you like success? Oh, no. She literally bares her fangs at you, and you feel her desperately trying to wiggle out of your grasp, eager to try and impale you upon her own vampiric claws. As she resists you, you too. Oh, RJ's giving you a reroll. You're RJ's favorite.
Thank you, RJ. It's not the beast. Oh, and
Yeah, that's going to go to you. What was the question? What was the question?
yeah, what was the shit? I don't even remember.
Something about what are you talking about?
What secrets are you wishing my friend Eveline here not to know?
You inquire, the both of you, into matters that need not concern you, of my sire, my blood, and my God. I was going to go back round to Patricia, who's going to try and weasel out of your grasp. So strength and brawl for me, please, Thurston. Is going to go to Patricia as the aggressor in this instance. Mm-hmm. And she will just barely be able to shake you off of her, slamming you into the back wall but not doing you any harm, as she is now released. Eveline.
I'm going to attack her with my scissors.
Dexterity, melee to scissor Patricia.
I almost said that, so if you didn't.
I was slightly disappointed that you didn't. She's just going to try and dodge. It's going to go to you, Eveline. And I believe it was a bonus +4 against Kindred with the scissors.
That's a good question. I think so. Let me double check. I always forget which tab it's under. Yes, +4.
It's just superficial, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Piercing damage.
Eveline unsheathes her trusty scissors and embeds them deep into Patricia's side, wounding her greatly, as she can see various black corruption emanating from the wounds as blood slowly trickles down her leg. Thurston?
I want to say I didn't want to do this. I was trying to spare you.
Fuck you. Thurston?
You are too kind, Evelyn. And I will swipe at her with my sword.
That's your two-handed sword, right?
My two-handed sword.
Strength melee. And she's going to try and dodge with a -1 modifier. Your sword is +3?
2.
+2.
It's a not fancy sword.
Well, that's a bit of a bastard then.
Heh.
Thank you.
Try on like one health. Oh.
Yeah. I thought that was great.
I came up a little short.
Yeah, but the joke had broader implications. I can see it on your
Play
face. You're Gladius, I said that.
Oh!
Can't you get on with the story? I didn't say that right.
Okay. Enough of these cutting remarks.
This is going on too long.
That's a good riposte. Thurston unsheathes his sword and swings it with all his might, impacting into the same wounded area upon Patricia's side, embedding the blade deep into her flesh and skin. She lets out a howl of pain as she kneels onto the floor, supporting herself with one hand. I think it's fair to say that Patricia's going to have to skip her go, so we'll go straight to Eveline.
I'm just going to take the scissors out and stab her again.
Dexterity! Melee! And she is going to attempt to dodge with a -1 modifier. That's a hell of a hit. That's a hell of a hit. Eveline pulls her scissors out once more, rams them straight into Patricia's neck, remembering lessons that she was taught of old, pulls the scissor blades right through the flesh, nearly decapitating her head. She does not even have enough time to let out a gurgle of pain as she falls straight to the floor with blood slowly pouring from her horrendous wounds. Your compulsion is now over.
Thurston also did harm too, right?
Yes, but he had a reroll, so his compulsion didn't count.
Oh, that's
So-
right. Okay.
Because
So we're
his
both-
boyfriend gave him a reroll.
Thank you, RJ.
What would you like to do?
I will
Evelyn.
use her dress to clean off my scissors and put them back away.
You're going to use her dress, did you say?
Yeah, her dress.
Nice.
Soil. Oh,
Nice. I like that.
I don't need necessarily blood on my own dress. I already got to get this cleaned. What else in this room?
That's a good question, actually.
There's just various pieces of decoration. Probably far too gaudy for Eveline's taste, as they're all just gold. A few plants.
Okay, just decoration.
Are you trying to loot the
Kirsten?
corpse?
Yeah.
5 gold pieces.
I mean, she's wearing jewelry and such, right? Would she have pockets?
Oh yeah. I forgot you.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Well, and
Eveline's
it's kind
a bit of a
Evelyn's
magpie.
thing, actually, to
Yeah.
loot the corpse. So,
Yeah, while Evelyn is contemplating what she wants to do with the Patricia's belongings, can I go over? This is like her office, right?
For all intents and purposes, I suppose. Yeah.
Does she have like a desk?
No. Basically,
Okay,
what I'm trying to tell you
then.
is you're not going to find any useful information in there whatsoever. She has told you
throne
the
room.
information that would be useful to you. Eveline, you will find various gold bracelet chains and other appropriate, expensive-looking, gaudy jewelry. Probably worth like 10 bob.
I was looking for information for a different reason.
What information are you looking for?
Well, if I remember correctly, last time I was in this very room, I gave up a lot of information to Patricia, and I was trying to see if there is anything that might be in here that tells me what she might have done with that information.
No.
Okay.
and I don't find anything useful in the corpse.
No. Just
Okay.
somewhat valuable jewelry, I suppose.
If it's valuable enough, I'd take it, but otherwise, Thurston, I'm glad you were here.
I'm sorry. What did you say? I was looking through her belongings for any reasonable information. I heard Thurston. What was after that?
Be silly. I'm glad you were here, but now we have to find a way out of here.
Right. It is a good thing I was here, especially since we didn't want any information falling into the wrong hands. So, speaking of not falling into the wrong hands, we should probably depart from here before anyone discovers what we've done.
You might want to go invisible again.
Yeah, you just turn around.
I'll just start walking out the secret door.
Eveline doesn't turn around often. She only turns around every now and then. Well, you were into the 80s.
Even I was about to make that reference before I figured out she was making it for me.
I'm sitting here. I'm stuck on Turn Around Bright Eyes.
Turn around.
Oh, every now and then. Okay, now I'm getting it.
Mhm.
I the song.
It's funny because I explained it.
But it's not that she didn't turn around every now. Every now and then I fall apart. Anyway.
Eveline and Thurston in tow head out of Patricia's chambers confidently and glide through the filled hallway. No one gets their attention and no one asks for their own. They head out onto the streets of London, where they find a black and gold-lined carriage waiting outside, with Inspector Grey inside, leaning out of the window, ushering them in.
I'll rush inside. And hold the door open for a second to let Invisible Thurston come in.
Good evening, Evelyn. My task was wrapped up rather quickly, so I went ahead and decided to come on down and wait for you. How did your task go?
It's all completed as well.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Eveline, having killed, for all intents and purposes, although not mortal, still certainly a woman, how are you feeling right now?
Scared and like I've betrayed someone. Like, I did like her and wanted to be part of this secret sisterhood. And that is not the way that I wanted it to come out. But at the same time, she's powerful. So I'm curious if I can kill her and get away with it.
Has it occurred to Eveline that what she sees as a potential social club, potential ways to increase her own status, were in fact mere traps or illusions designed to entice her in, and were going to betray her?
I think she is shallow enough she would have thought it was a social club, something to benefit her.
Okay. Thurston, you were of great assistance to Eveline. You even got a thank you from Eveline. One of the very few times this entire time you've been together as a coterie that someone has thanked you. And you've also made great strides towards your goal for the Camarilla. How's Thurston feeling right now?
He's felt vindicated ever since he was on the other side of that door and heard Eveline spilling her guts about what we were up to. Now he's just trying to, well, not being too far out of line because she is a coterie member, but figuring out a way he can maybe hold it over Eveline's head for some future assistance.
Inspector Gray, you're not entirely sure what's gone on, but I think you'll see Eveline is deeply wounded upon her throat. Some shit has gone down in there. You are making great strides for the Camarilla, or at least your current goal. All that's left now is to confront Halen Bay. What's going through your mind right now?
Well, clearly, it appears Eveline struggled a little bit with her task, but it was completed and completed successfully. And really, that's all that matters. The job was done and done well. The next point of action is to go after Halen Bay. And when we go after Halen Bay, we'll be able to get that gemstone. And that'll just be another step on the staircase of shoring up our power and our bait. So when it all comes down to it, we just need to complete these tasks so that we're better positioned to outcompete the other kindred.
And as the carriage thunders through the icy city of London, is there anything you would like to discuss as you head towards Halen Bay's antique shop?
I would like to heal.
Do a rouse check for me, please. Heal, is your blood potency 2?
Yes.
Heal 2.
It occurs to me that my confrontation with Ferguson was so quick, in fact, I neglected to ask him where they have the sarcophagus. You didn't happen to get that information out of Patricia, did you?
think Thurston did he?
I don't think any.
No, I don't think so.
We were a
Oh,
little
The,
busy.
the sarcophagus is where we have to return the stone to,
Yeah.
though, right?
Eveline has no intention of returning to the stone to the sarcophagus, so she wasn't going to ask anyway.
If I'm trying to figure it out in character shift. If sorry, earlier when we had the meeting with what's his face to give us this mission to go on, I forgot to mention that there is a small cabin on the edge of town that there was a sarcophagus located in. I believe that is where we should take it.
Good to know. I will make a note of that.
Okay. Eveline, Inspector Gray. Intelligence and wits, please. Because apparently you need reminding that you have been to an Egyptian tomb inside of London, because apparently that just happens all the time.
That's the same. That's the same one. Well, because that one was like, that had to do with like Lady Anne and Mithras and
No.
all that.
No, not that one.
We've had
Intelligence
two.
and wits?
Yes, please.
Also, Eveline's kind of still in the not caring part about the sarcophagus.
But you will still both remember that you have been to a shack just outside of the city that was obscured from the main road. You found a trap door that led to an underground tomb, where you had an encounter with a snake statue that came to life and allowed, I can't even remember who, to translate the Egyptian hieroglyphics that were on the wall.
It was Lantre.
Out of character. Was I here for that game?
No, possibly not, because we had
Okay.
Lantre guest and Aldrich. That's when you met Aldrich's mentor,
Oh, yeah.
and you had the first encounter with sand that possessed Thurston's touchstone.
I'll be honest, I don't know why, but that is, for some reason, really mixing together in my mind with the other sarcophagus.
Literally lost your touchstone in that encounter.
No, I remember that. It's just for some reason I'm remembering the Mithras one being the same one, but it's whatever.
The Mithras one was somewhere else in the actual city of London.
The heart of the...
If I had a nickel for every time I found a sarcophagus secretly hidden under somewhere in London, I'd have 2 nickels.
I just want to say as well,
nuts.
you'd all be terrible Bloodlines players as well, because as soon as you see a sarcophagus, you're like, open that bastard. And one of the first things you're taught in Bloodlines is, don't open it.
Do you know what I did my first Bloodlines playthrough?
You fucking opened it, didn't you?
I fucking opened it. I wanted that power for myself.
If it makes you feel better, I sided with Ming Zhao because I would. And that's possibly the worst ending you can get in that game.
Yeah. Hard to say. When you open it, you die. When you side with Ming Zhao, you live. Technically.
You don't live for long.
Well, then I would have, instead of vaguely remembering it, I would have pointed out that the shack that we brought Lantre to is probably where we need to take it. Yeah, because there was like a slot in the wall for a stone to be in. It was just missing.
Right, there was. Well, we have to get it first.
Indeed. Well, I mean, the Camarilla wants this area rid of any form of Setites that I'm aware of, so if things run south, we can always deal with it the same way. We just... Phew, sorry.
Dusty in this carriage.
It's very dusty. I miss Aldrich already. His carriage was so much more hygienic than this.
Most gorgeous carriage I've ever been in.
Yes. Fuck was I saying? Oh no, let's go do this.
The coteries' carriage stops outside of Bay's shop. The candlelit shop seems open and its windows are packed with intricate, clearly expensive artifacts of unknown age and origin. The snow-covered window covers offer a picturesque scene. Were it not for the evil nature of the shop's owner, it would be breathtaking to behold. How would you like to proceed?
Yes, who would love to take points? Evelyn?
I believe I should go in alone.
I like how the blur worked on your fingers there. That brings back memories.
You want to confront...
My wedding night, Thurston!
You want to confront Halen alone? Surely...
Distract him? You can steal the stone.
Oh,
You're not listening.
I'm terribly sorry, Evelyn. That's my fault. I was just thinking straight to the point. Go in, kill him, take the stone. Some cunning and tact would be appropriate. Thurston, we should make ourselves disappear.
Yes, but I mean, if this plan A doesn't work, I am all for the on-point murder, final death, steal the stone. I'm agreeing with you, Gray. If this doesn't go our way the first time, then that is definitely how we will alleviate the problem.
Very well, we will be behind you, Evelyn. I will take a step to the side so I'm unseen, and then I'll use unseen.
Rouse check for me, please, Inspector Gray. Lovely. And
Yeah,
Thurston,
I'll turn.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why I opened this rouse check. It came
Okay.
through.
Good.
Both of you are far hungrier, and Evelyn heads inside the shop. The bell over the shop door gives a gentle ring. As Evelyn steps inside the packed shop filled with countless ancient objects, most of which are likely to be worth more than anything she has ever seen before. Behind the counter is the figure of Halen Bay. He stands under the giant green emerald mounted on a plaque on the wall, his hands clasped on top of the counter, and a greasy smile on his face as he greets her. Good evening, child of Set. What are you looking for this night?
In my head, I'm going to be thinking to myself, don't look at the stone, don't look at the stone, don't look at the stone. I'll curtsy.
Do a willpower roll for me, please.
Oh, God. I never reset my willpower. We were supposed to, right?
Resolve and composure to your willpower, yeah. It's just enough to restrain your hand as you feel it beginning to edge up and clasp into a pointing finger and move over the stone. But thankfully, you are able to assert your own dominance over the possessed hand and not give any of your intentions away.
I'll curtsy and say, Good evening. I am looking for a present for my husband.
Indeed. Does he have a particular interest in any particular period of history?
The stranger the better.
You're looking for stranger things, then?
I wish I had a comeback for that, yes.
I have a fertility statue from a very distant island. Giant heads are dotted around it, and there no longer appears to be any trees upon it. And he will reach under the counter and put this clearly wooden artifact that bears obvious signs of why it is a fertility statue upon the counter.
Wow, that is very interesting. I don't think fertility is really what we're going for, if you know what I mean.
Are you sure it's highly sought after? You do well. There is stiff competition for it.
It's, I'm sure it's satisfactory in its own right. It's not exactly what I'm looking for. I want to take a look around and look for the hardest to retrieve item. Like maybe it's something down on the floor in a case, or really up high, or...
You'll find such an item bolted onto the ceiling at the top, a very tall set of shelves. It will be a Swiss whatchamacallit? Cuckoo clock. Thank you. Brain working.
Oh, how boring. It looks delightful. Can I see that?
Ah. Of course. Of course. He'll just click his fingers, and out from behind a curtain behind the counter, a rather large, tall fellow will appear. He'll just say, "One moment, madam." He'll disappear and reappear with a small ladder that he can put against a shelf, climb up it, and retrieve the clock for you. You can see it is an exquisite work. The mechanics upon this are incomparable to anything else. A solid gold mechanism, not the most reliable, but possibly the most decadent.
Well, I think it is very beautiful. It's definitely something I'm personally interested in. I don't think it's quite appropriate for my husband. Do you have anything? I don't know. Maybe you have something in the back? Maybe something that's cursed?
What kind of shop
Something that
sells?
you wouldn't sell to the general public.
What kind of shops would sell cursed items? It sounds very bad for business. But you want something particularly decadent and luxurious?
Something very unique and hard to get. Like I said, something you wouldn't sell to the general public. Surely you've got something hidden away in back.
I do, of course, but I wouldn't be able to just bring out such an item needlessly. I would need to know that you are able to acquire said item.
You mean funds? Oh, funds are no issue.
Of course, and if I were willing to take your word for it, not that I accuse you of being a liar, I would be most foolhardy, wouldn't I? After all, we did allow the British Empire into our country, and that has not turned out so well for me.
I will take all of the money I have in my pocket, which would not be all of my money. I wouldn't carry all my money around. But I'll take all the money that I have in my pocket out and say, this is really, I mean, it's not a good idea for a woman to carry that much money around with her. So this is all I have on me right now. But I can definitely bring back the remainder.
I see. Do for me charisma and persuasion, and I have. What about Patricia's jewelry? Are you flashing any of that?
No. No.
Smart. And it's going to be against his wits and insight.
Oh.
Very well, madam. I believe I can accommodate your needs. Please wait here. He'll snap his fingers again, and another large gentleman walk out from the curtains, stand behind the curtain next to the other large gentleman, as Halen Bay disappears into the back room. Is there anything you'd like to do while you wait?
Oh.
How high up is this stone?
You would need a booster or something to get it.
That's what I thought.
Still a little ladder out there.
I will walk up close to Thurston.
I'm sorry, I just can't get over Thurston's look on his face of...
Oh no, I was
Yeah.
waiting because I could see Gray getting ready to talk.
Do
So
you want me to roll Sense the Unseen?
What for?
So I can see Thurston.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Show me Sense
Okay.
the Unseen, please.
Yeah, to hear.
Because it will require the opposing roll. So, Wits Nor Specs, Inspector Grey. Or you could use Resolve and Specs in this instance, I believe.
It's the same for me.
Does he need to oppose it, though? Because does Thurston care if Inspector Gray sees him?
I think it would be automatically
I can
opposed.
choose to fail.
It's got to set the difficulty level. So, Thurston, what's your Obfuscate level?
Obfuscate 3.
That's difficulty. Gray, desperately trying to see Thurston, is unable to will the vitae around his eyes and penetrate Thurston's obscured cloak. Unless
I
Inspector
can
Gray,
imagine Inspector Gray just looking in the totally wrong direction.
What?
would you like
Thurston's
success
over
at
here,
cost?
Inspector Gray's looking over here.
Yes.
Inspector Gray wills the vitae around his eyes and his mind in order to penetrate Thurston's cloak and is able to see him. However,
Hey,
Inspector
I'm
Gray
going first.
must channel an inordinate amount of his own vitae to his eyes and mind. Increase your hunger by 1, please.
So now that I can see Thurston, I will approach him and whisper quietly. Thurston, if I help you up, do you think you can reach the gym? Or should we try to take out those 2 thugs simultaneously?
Well, Evelyn seems to have them. Well, Yeah, because the 2 thugs still can kind of. They're still watching the shop.
Yeah.
Is that the.
It's not that they don't trust Eveline, it's just that they don't
Right.
trust Eveline.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Yeah, we probably should, unless we expect them to ignore a floating gem. Stone.
Okay, I'll get the one on the right, you get the one on the left. Let's go. So I'll move into position and I'll wait until Thurston is in position. And I'll wait until Thurston makes a move since I can see him and he can't see me. I want to try to feed on this guy. Hopefully it'll go well, but we'll see.
Your minds think alike. I was gonna do the same thing.
Well, fortune favors you because this is a stealth attack and is therefore difficulty 1. So all you need to do is a strength brawl roll at difficulty 1 to grapple them.
Nice.
I'll let you go first, Gray.
Yeah, I got it.
Barely. Yep.
You got it too.
And those few times that a difficulty 1 roll actually makes the players sweat. Inspector Gray and Thurston lift the Vitae-induced cloak from themselves as they pounce upon the two men, muffling them from making any sound and restraining them. What would you like to do to them with them under your grasp?
Feed.
Okay. Thurston, feed?
Yep, same.
Yep. And that would be a free action. How much Vitae would you like to take?
Oh, free. Okay. I don't know about Gray. I'm gonna take 3 to knock the guy unconscious.
Okay. And you will take a humanity stain as you extend your 4 jagged, broken fangs and sink them firmly into the man's flesh, feasting upon his Vitae and taking more than you normally do. As he passes out from lack of blood, and you discard his corpse like a used
New adjective for a Capri Sun.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to think in Victorian age as well, and it's like bag of chips.
Water skin?
Yeah, water skin, yeah.
Like a discarded empty packet of tobacco. Inspector Gray,
Oh, I will drain him completely.
you will take 2 humanity stains, but you may slake 5 hunger, down to 0.
He is food, that's... He is an enemy and he is food, I'm just gonna indulge.
You discard the corpse with disdain, letting it drop silently to the floor to not give yourself away, rather than any kind of respect to your food. Is there anything you'd like to subtly discuss before Halen Bay returns?
Jim!
Wait, did she yell that?
No, not yelled.
Oh, okay.
Said sternly.
I think I want to wait and aim.
We aren't invisible anymore, though, because we...
No, we're not.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could try to go invisible. I will quietly say to Eveline, Eveline, take the ladder and try to get the gem. I'm going to hide. And I'll try to go behind the curtain and go invisible.
As quickly as possible, I grab the ladder and try and get the gem.
I'll assist her.
Having to do all of the dirty work.
Strength brawl. Eveline with a +1 modifier from Thurston, who is...
And brawl? So I'm trying to pry it out, I guess?
Yeah.
I got... That's with the +1 modifier. Not gonna happen. I should not be the one grabbing this stone.
And the stone will not budge. under Eveline's grasp as Halen Bay returns through the curtain, completely oblivious to Inspector Grey, and holds a exotic mask that is almost frightful, but inlaid with gold. Who are you? What are you doing in here? What happened to...
I don't know, they just kind of fainted. This looks perfect. What's this?
I say... Because you're up there, and he's like, oh!
Not that big of a ladder. You said it was a small
Victorian age. You might see your ankles.
That's true, you might see my ankles.
See, Pixie's with me on this. Thank you, Pixie.
It's a step ladder, not a ladder. I didn't want to be the one to grab the stupid stone.
What are you doing, stepladder? That is not for sale.
Well, then what?
It is a priceless artifact from my homeland.
But it's gorgeous. This would be perfect. I'm stalling so Inspector Grey will do something.
I will, I'm going to stay hidden for this round, but I will rouse the blood for Ball's Corral.
Okay. And Halen Bay looks up at Eveline. And he says, "You will forget about this stone. Damn." Intelligence and resolve, please.
Yeah, this is so not gonna go.
I don't mean to throw a wrench in this, but what am I doing again? He knows I'm there? I'm just standing
Yeah,
Are
there.
you obfuscated still?
No, I helped her get the ladder.
Then you'll still be at the bottom of the ladder.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way I can do anything with that.
He just
You will
pushed
forget
him
about
off.
this stone. Thurston, what would you like to do?
As soon as Eveline begins probably climbing back down the ladder after being mesmerized. Gray, plan B! And I'm going to draw my sword.
Blue team 6. So you're just drawing your sword and can Thurston take another action, or?
Yeah, I'll let him do something.
Yeah, I'm gonna, cause I saw where the inspector went behind the curtain. So I'm just going to swipe at Halen Bay in a way that even if I miss, hopefully I'll get him closer to the curtains where Gray is at.
Strength melee. And
I'm
as
being very specific, and I
he
shouldn't be.
sees you as the only target there, he's just going to try and bitch slap you, I guess, with his stats.
I don't like the way you said that.
Jeez.
Oh, and when you said with his stats, I thought you were gonna roll out like 10.
Oh, he's
dice.
like,
That's actually a really good roll for him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 2. Very nice. Halen Bay stands his ground as Thurston draws his sword and plunges it through Halem's leg, causing Vitae to drip out of the wound over his very expensive suit. Inspector Gray, what would you like to do?
I will use Ball's Correct.
Dexterity, athletics. This is going to count as a stealth attack because you're coming out Cloak of Shadows to do it. So that's a definite success. And do for me strength and blood sorcery versus his stamina and occult.
Yeah.
Inspector Gray launches his acidic vitae onto the body of Halen Bay, impacting upon another part of his body and watching as his clothes singe away into smoke and his flesh is exposed and is then burned away, exposing the skeleton of the man. Eveline!
I would like to scream.
I like it when you scream too.
Actually, yeah, I'll scream. I thought about doing something more interesting, but not against him.
And he is going to attempt to dodge and fail miserably. Jesus. Okay. Eveline launches a sonic-based attack at Halen Bay and hits him perfectly, launching the rest of his his skin, clothes, muscle and sinew away from his skeleton. As the remains fall to the floor, turn to ash as they impact on the ground of the antique store.
Like that scene in Terminator. So what were we here for?
Well done, well done. You did a fabulous job. Check to see if there's anything of value on Halen Bay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to climb up this ladder here. Never mind. I will climb up the ladder and grab the stone.
Strength. Brawl. Wonderful. You are able to easily loosen the stone from its holding, pull it out of place, and tuck it under your arm as you descend down the ladder.
I would like to look around things that look valuable that I can fit in my pocket.
There's this fertility statue.
I'll take it.
Eveline picks up the fertility statue and is hiding an erection in her pocket.
Although I am happy to see you.
Alright, now that we have the gym, let us, Thurston, you know the way to the resting place, correct?
Yeah, how could I forget?
I'll follow you to the carriage. Come, Eveline, we have a mission.
Now that you have what?
Our reason for coming, we have to get this gym to its resting place.
What gem?
It's It's just a task we have. It's not of much significance.
I'll shrug and walk out the door.
You'll head back into the carriage. It makes its way through the rest of the city and begins to take you to the outskirts. Is there anything you wish to discuss en route?
Well, I guess I don't honestly know why we bother with plan A's and plan B's. We typically always end up getting it one way, and usually that way. I'm sorry for almost wasting your time, Inspector.
I feel the plan went swimmingly. Eveline went in as planned, and Eveline did a marvelous job sending Halen Bay to the back room, at which case you and I expertly disposed of those two thugs, and
Yes.
I had quite a filling meal. It was exquisite. I don't have an ounce of hunger at the moment. And after indulging, and we got the gym, which we came for. Oh, right, we killed Halen Bay, of course. No surprise there.
That was plan B, but yes.
Wait, I thought killing him was the plan.
No, we were going to... While you eat back in the curtains, we were supposed to steal the stone and leave before he came back.
Oh. Stealing it, killing him, and then stealing it, it's the same thing. This way, we have no angry Halen Bay to chase after us. This is the better plan. A dead enemy can't chase you.
We're still talking about food.
Yes, he is rather preoccupied with the satiation of his hunger, isn't he?
All I'm saying, Thurston, is you would be much happier if you just drank deeply and satiated yourself with every feeding.
That's a dark road to travel down, Inspector. I do believe that there was someone you cared deeply about that you disposed of for doing something similar.
No, you see, she could not control herself. She would run out every night, killing people for fun.
But she was doing it for food as well.
Yes, but the difference was, one, she wasn't sanctioned to operate, and two, she was leaving a bloody mess everywhere she went, drawing attention. Those men were going to attack us. We were going to kill them anyway. What does it matter if we feed deeply or...
Well, as far as I'm aware, we've killed 3 kindred and 2 mortals this night. Is that not leaving a bloody trail?
Oh, you bring up a good point. You should have your Nosferatu friends clean up. Thank you for volunteering that, Thurston.
Inspect. One day you may find what is so wrong with what you are doing, but I guess tonight is not that night.
Kind of glad his first meal got away.
You can call me Gray, by the way. I don't do much inspecting these days.
The carriage arrives outside the city, near the isolated wooden shack, hidden from most eyes off the side of the road, behind a small outcrop of trees and hedges. The shack itself is darkened, and no one is around. The coterie proceed towards the shack, and open the door that creaks loudly in the night as they walk into the wooden shack and find the trap door that leads down into the hidden chamber. As they walk through the corridor, small torches begin to light themselves to show their way forward. Eventually, they walk into the empty mock-up of an Egyptian tomb, the same hieroglyphs painted onto the wall as the last time they were there. The two dog-headed figures painted on the back wall now seem obvious to them, as the place to hold the stone is to be held.
Well, without further delay, let us proceed. I will step forwards and socket the stone into the slot.
Nice and easy. The stone is placed into its nook and seems held there by an invisible force, and slowly sinks into the wall. The room's colours begin to fade, and in the centre a large, golden, ghostly sarcophagus appears. It seems to change into a pile of sand, and is whipped up by a sudden wind. The coterie are unable to feel where it comes from, and then it all disappears to nothingness, and an almost warm feeling envelops each of the coterie. You may all heal your damage, including aggravated and willpower. Those of you that were lacking a hand now find it miraculously returned.
I drop the other hand in my pocket. Keep it.
Do
Just
you mean
Fertility statue in one pocket, hand in the other.
I'm set for a good night.
both superficial and aggravated willpower? Sorry.
I think so, yeah.
Cool.
That time that someone else says a shiv line. And, is there anything you would like to do when you return to the city? Or is there anything you would like to talk about before we end this session?
Even though my pockets are full, I feel uneasy, like I'd lost something.
Evelyn, you've got your hand back. That's magnificent.
Me? It's more beautiful than I remembered.
Much better than that. What was it? Ivory hand you had, or porcelain? Something
Served
like
its purpose. I'm gonna keep it around.
Yes, things went well. I suppose we should get back to Whitechapel.
With that, the coterie returned to the Whitechapel Haven, and each returned to their respective haven and domain, and rest for now. And that will bring a close to this week's session. Thank you all for coming and watching, but first, Thurston! Who are you?
Yes.
What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
My name is Nitro Type It, and you can find me practically anywhere at Nitro Type It.
You can take these social media details and do something really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Eveline! Who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
I am Ms. Hearts. You can find me just about anywhere as Ms. Hearts. The season's kind of over and everyone's doing Christmas stuff, so the next live performance I have lined up for anything is the Bat City Bombshells Anti-Valentine's Day show on February 12th at Come and Take It here in Austin. Tickets are not on sale yet, but when they go on sale, I will be blasting them on Twitter and everything else. Other than that, if you need graphic design or promotional products, go to gibopromo.com.
Wonderful. Gray, formerly Inspector. Who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
I'm Noskavian. You can at me in Discord if you want to get a hold of me. I play VTM on a weekly basis with these guys, and that's about it.
And speaking of the Discord, if you're super into VTM and like doing play-by-post stuff, we are looking at setting up a play-by-post section of the Discord server, and we'd love to start sending out invites for that as soon as we hit 400 followers here on Twitch, which we are, last time I checked, about 15 followers away. So if you've got any friends that might enjoy that, go let them know and send them our way.
Excellent. Thank you all for coming and join us. Tomorrow is Oxford by Night, an hour earlier than we started this, with special guest and various other people. Next week is probably London by Gaslight, I think, but no Oxford by Night. And I think the week after that we'll be maybe having a break. But we'll see. I might do a stream of VTM Redemption at some point in the future, maybe.
Oxford by Night's 2 hours before.
It is 2 hours before, isn't it? It is 2 hours before, so tune in for that. It'll be fun. And yeah, I think we'll hopefully be seeing you before Christmas, no matter what. So no point saying have a Merry Christmas. But of course, we can't go until Eveline says the line.
Oh, a long time. Have a good night.
We can't go until Eveline says the line again.
Have a good night.
We can't go until Eveline says the line again.
Oh, damn it.
Have a shiver.
There's debris on the vinyl again. Let me go dust it off.